If you listened very closely, I am sure you noticed patterns in the challenges that creative entrepreneurs face. How to price, how to pitch, how to ask for money, where to find the confidence, how to overcome self doubt, what to do when we hit rock bottom, how to break through the ideas and thoughts that are instilled into us by others, how to overcome the idea of being a starving artist. Oh my God. This is your story, my story, everybody's story. All right. Our challenges are so similar. Our curveballs are so similar. And everyone you heard today has had a similar story to tell.
This is your host, Dyutama, but you can call me DJ. And I love to inspire food photographers to dream. I spent 15 years as an architect studying buildings and constructing hospitals before taking the biggest leap of faith of my life, which was setting up a food styling and food photography business right from scratch. If you're a dreamer like me, wanting to start a new photography business or grow your existing food photography business, jump right into a world where I share practical, actionable strategies to improve your photography skills, to work with clients, make more money, all with a fearless mindset. This is the My Food Lens podcast, and we take you one step closer to your dreams. So let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the My Food Lens podcast. And today we are continuing this mind-blowing series, which talks all about the challenges of starting and running a food photography business. We have a brilliant lineup of experts who are sharing their personal stories and sharing their challenges and how they overcame those challenges. I hope that you enjoyed part one, and I'm pretty certain that you're going to love part two as well. All right, so here we go.
Hello, I'm Eva Cosmas Flores. I'm a photographer and videographer based in Portland, Oregon. I teach video to creatives online as well as photography through my website, evacosmasflores.com. And I host in-person photography workshops as well. So as far as my biggest challenge in starting a photography business was definitely not being confident in myself. I had a really hard time advocating for myself with pricing and deliverables and timelines and like all of that stuff because I just wasn't confident in, what I was offering. And how I overcame that was by practicing, because the more I knew my camera, the more I knew what I was capable of, what the limitations of what I was capable of were, the more confident I felt about negotiating with clients and saying no to certain things, or being like, well, I only use natural light, so I can't be shooting your bar at nighttime, but I could come in during the day without, like customers there and shoot during that time. So practicing and becoming more educated about my camera and different shooting environments and what I felt comfortable with gave me a lot of confidence to be able to negotiate more and say yes to the stuff that worked, but also, having the confidence to say no to the stuff that didn't work.
Hi everyone, this is Anindya Sundar Basu from Picture Nama and Picture Nama Studios. Incidentally, those are my Instagram handles. You can also find my writing and photography in www.picturenama.com. I am a food photographer and I do video with my wife. I run a creative agency focusing only on food from India, based out of Kolkata, but with no geographical boundaries as such. When we started the business of food photography and the creative agency focusing on food based out of Kolkata during the COVID times, and post that also one of the biggest challenge was to source new clients, because the market is limited, and there were, in photography, you always find there is a preconceived notion of people will only hire photographers from local city with minimum travel of cost and stuff like that, which is included. So it was tough that how do you find out new clients? What are they doing and how do you approach them? One of the strategies which I have approached and have worked for them is spending a stipulated amount of time at whatever interval suits you, can be weekly, can be regular, can be fortnightly, in finding out the spheres, the sectors in which you work and what your possible, probable clients are doing, and send out cold emailers and cold messages. There is no harm in doing that. You can always share a piece of your work or some project that you are working, and you say that this is what I'm working in and would love to work with you, and I have seen that. Before sending out a mailer or any message or anything, advisable that do a little bit of research on what they are doing. But importantly, this initiative and this exercise has to be an ongoing one. It may so happen that in 1 month, out of 10 mailers that you send, you can get 8 responses, out of which 6 converts. But the next month, it may so happen that out of 10 mailers, no one may respond. But you have to keep on doing this, because the business nature of ours is such that it's certainly slightly fluctuating and is also seasonal. So if you don't keep on doing the effort, there can be absolute dry months where no client work happens. So keep that in mind. Keep on finding your clients. As they say, that before they find you, you find them and approach them.
Hi, my name is Diana. I'm a food photographer and stylist, and I work out of Craft and Muse Studio. That's the name of my business, and I'm located in Toronto, in Canada. My biggest challenge wasn't actually when starting. Starting was easy for me. I thought I really want to do this. It's what brings me joy. I had inquiries from people about my photography, so I thought, well, I'd better start a business because I need to invoice these people. So starting wasn't hard. I just went and signed up for a business license, and I created my business. And that part was easy. The hardest part for me was actually when I hit a low point in my business in terms of revenue, the clients that I was getting. And I just thought that I wasn't where I expected to be at that point in my business. And that was a really low point. For the first time, I considered quitting, and I considered whether entrepreneurship and this business was for me at all. And what helped me overcome this was asking myself some questions. First of all, do I really still enjoy this? Do I love doing this? Do I want to keep going? And my answer was yes, I really love this. So I want to keep going with this. The other question was, did I exhaust every single avenue? Did I do all of the things that were possible and available to me in order to help my business succeed? And when I was really honest with myself, the answer was, I don't know. Maybe there would be still some more ways to get more eyeballs on my work, to get people to find out about my business. Maybe I could pitch more. Maybe I could pay more attention to who I'm pitching, and so on. So I could immediately come up with at least 5 or 6 more things that I could do starting tomorrow even, in order to help my business grow. So asking myself these questions and just building the emotional resilience to come back time and time again, even after rejection, and stay in the business, still continue to put one foot in front of the other and work every day to help my business succeed. So I really do think a strong mindset is so important, and having the resilience to know that this business has a lot of ups and downs and highs and lows. And the most important thing is to persevere and to stay strong no matter what. You can do it.
Okay, I just have to pause right here. And I'm sorry to interrupt what you're listening to, but I feel like Diana, and I feel like you'll feel like this too. All right. So I feel like Diana is speaking my heart, my mind, my soul right now. I mean, if you've been a listener of this podcast long enough, you probably already know this is exactly how I feel about business. I mean, I mentioned right in the beginning that if there is one thing you need to do to be able to succeed in business, it is to not give up. And if you don't give up, you can keep chiseling at it. That's it. You will rise from the ashes. Like, look at Dinah. Dinah rose back. And me, myself, I can talk about myself as well. I hit rock bottom in 2021. And I was certain, I was sure that I would quit, but I bounced back. And I can guarantee you that anyone you're listening to today here, all the experts who are here, they have at some point hit rock bottom and they have risen up. And that's the rule of business. You kind of have to accept that and remember that as you move on. Don't take your low point as a sign to quit. That is key and that is critical. In fact, take your low point as a sign to strengthen your values, your skills, your desire, your fire, your strategy, your productivity, your time management, your everything. Take it as a sign to strengthen yourself. The reason you hit a low point is not because the universe thinks it's time for you to give up and quit. It's because the universe knows that you are capable of more. It has tested you, you have sustained, it's testing you a bit more, and it's just pushing the limits for you so you can discover what you are actually capable of. Dinah's story is one, my story is one, and I'm pretty certain many of you who are listening who have risen from rock bottom have a similar story. We have all gone through it in a similar way. And if there is anyone right now who is hitting rock bottom, boss, just remember it is not your sign to quit. It is your sign to rise from the ashes because you're capable of way more. All right. With that, let's listen to what our other experts have to say.
Hi, my name is Francesco Sapienza. I am a professional food photographer based in New York City. And you can find me at francescosapienza.com or just Francesco Sapienza on Instagram. My biggest challenge when starting my photography journey was figuring out how to price my services and how to deal with rejections and how to approach the actual business of photography. And what I realized, it took me a while, but what I realized that the very first step in order to deal with the question of pricing is, okay, you need to know what your cost of doing business is. You need to know how much it costs for you to live your life according to the standards that you decide. That would be your break-even point. So how much money do I need to make in order to have the life that I want? From that, you can then figure out how many days you need to work in a year. And then from that, you can figure out what your rate should be, your minimum rate. Of course, this is a very simplistic way of approaching, but the tool, the calculation starts from there. Dealing with rejection was very, very hard. And it's still hard because the thing is, we are not disconnected from our business. Yes, it's a business, but it's our images we're talking about. So it's part of us, and it's very hard not to take personally things such as, sorry, I rather work with somebody else. And it could be related to pricing, of course. It could be also related to the fact that your product is not in line with what they needed, or that there is no chemistry between you and them. Who knows? Based on a phone call or whatever that is. It could be for any reason. And I think you need to develop a tough skin, and you need to develop your self-confidence. But first of all, you should be aware of what's going on. You should do some work to become self-aware of how things make you feel, why you feel that way, and what you can do to overcome that. For me, it was a journey into self-discovery that has gone through, yoga and meditation, and now even cold exposure. And I'm still searching, I'm still learning about myself, but I have pretty good knowledge of myself, which allows me to deal with things such as rejection in a better way. it will always hurt to hear somebody say, oh, we're going to go with somebody else. Of course, that's natural. It should be that way. Because if you don't get mad when you don't get a job, of course, maybe there's something wrong. Maybe you shouldn't be there. So it needs to hurt, but you need to put it in perspective and realize it's not the end of the world.
Hi, my name is Amy. You can call me Em. I'm based in Hamilton, Canada. I'm a food photographer, recipe developer, stylist, and also content creator. And I love what I do. My biggest challenge when I started my food photography business is trying to overcome my overthinking of so many things that I have to deal with in order to build a successful business. So, in order to do this, I try to break down things into smaller pieces that I can chew. One of the things that I find very helpful is finding community of like-minded people. These could be your mentors, colleagues, like photographers that you can learn with and chat with, to share like your fears and to actually learn like the concrete steps that they do in order to overcome their fear as a business owner. And the most important thing that I find that is useful in tackling my overthinking is to show up for myself every day and try to move forward, even though at the time you feel like you're not making progress or you are in doubt of whatever you do. But just be there, just show up for yourself again and again, and try to learn as many things as you can and try to apply it to your business. And, you know, with encouragement from peers around you, you can be successful too.
Hi, my name is Megan Porta. I am a food blogger over at Pippinubby, and I'm also the podcast host at Eat Blog Talk, which is a podcast supporting food bloggers and their journeys, helping them learn and delivering value to them and their businesses. You can find me at Eat Blog Talk on Instagram if you are interested, and any podcast player that you have on your phone. My biggest challenge in starting a creative business was overcoming the mindset that was instilled in me in college, which was you are a starving artist, which means you are not going to make any money doing the things you love to do. This was drilled into my head by my college professor. I loved him to pieces. He was an amazing, smart individual, but I really started to believe this, and I believed it for so many years. I loved art. I've always been passionately creative. I love creating digital art, fine arts, you name it. It's always been a passion of mine. So I was really discouraged when he said this to me and when I started believing it, because I wanted to make money. I think we all want to make money for the things that we love. And how did I overcome that? I had just made a decision kind of in my early 20s, I think, after college, that I can do scary things, I can do hard things, and that I was going to keep doing that to find success. The blogging world is a completely new journey for our world. When I was in college, that did not exist. So I just knew that something could emerge from my gifts. And just believing that was very scary, but I knew it could happen, and it did. So it's all about mindset, I think, just reframing the things you hear and reframing the things that kind of get stuck in your head, and believing that you can do things with the skills and gifts that you've been given. And that's what I did.
Hi, I'm Sam Adler. I am a food photographer. I am a food photography coach, and I am a food blogger over on frostingandfettuccine.com, and I am based in Hollywood, Florida. My biggest challenge in starting a food photography business was probably pitching and being afraid to pitch and get clients. And if you don't pitch clients when you're first starting out, or when you don't have clients coming in, then you're not really getting any money. So you definitely need to pitch your clients in the beginning, or when your clients are kind of slow. And it was really scary. And I really remember feeling like I was going to throw up, like, oh my God, I cannot send this email right now asking for money or asking to work together. But I found that the more that I did it, the less hard it became. And then it became kind of like a game, and kind of like, well, what if I, do it in this way? What if I do it in that way? And I also kind of looked at rejection differently, instead of kind of seeing it as being rejected from someone. I'm like, well, what is the worst that can happen? That they say no, like, and then what? So I kind of really broke it down to being like, okay, the worst thing that can happen is that them either not answering me or them saying no. And like, would I survive? Yes. So what is the worst that can happen? The worst probably thing that could happen is that they say yes, and then I have to figure out how to work with them. And so really pitching was really, really, really scary for me in the beginning. But again, like I said, going and pushing myself to do it over and over again made it a lot easier.
So that was part 2 of this mind-blowing series that probably gave you a fantastic insight into the challenges of food photography and how to overcome them. If you listened very closely, I am sure you noticed patterns in the challenges that creative entrepreneurs face. How to price, how to pitch, how to ask for money, where to find the confidence, how to overcome self-doubt, what to do when we hit rock bottom, how to break through the ideas and thoughts that are instilled into us by others, how to overcome the idea of being a starving artist. Oh my God. This is your story, my story, everybody's story. All right. Our challenges are so similar. Our curveballs are so similar. And everyone you heard today has had a similar story to tell. They've all faced tough times, either in the beginning or in the middle, but they stayed. They overcame, and today they have become an authority in what they do. To me, that is success. To me, being able to overcome from your challenge is the highest indicator of success in business, and it is absolutely possible for you too. All right. So don't think that they are special and they were able to do it. It is absolutely possible for you too. And I hope this episode has better prepared you for it. It has better prepared you for what to expect in this journey. And if you're going through a challenge, I hope now you have answers and you have examples of someone. And if you have questions, you should reach out to them and ask them and share what you're going through. Because, like I said, if someone is ahead of you in their creative journey, they will always lift you up and understand where you are coming from. All right. And if you're on the fence, wondering whether this professional line is going to be lucrative, sustainable, you know now what to expect. It's a very raw and real episode. It gives you the true picture of what challenges to expect, what are the curveballs, what are the bumps and highs and lows that you will see in this journey. And I hope it gives you a very realistic picture. All right. So I hope that this episode has served as a source of knowledge, information, and inspiration. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Email me at hello@myfoodlens.com or DM me on Instagram at Dyutama_myfoodlens. All right. So go get cracking, and I will see you next week with another episode. Until then, bye-bye.